Hi everyone, my name is Paul Tripodi, and today I wanted to share with you top 5 qualities that we should have before starting in real estate. And actually, when I was writing this short list, it actually sounds like a pretty good list for just about anything. So, I learned these kind of out of order, and I put them in order to make sense for you, to help it make things a little bit easier and hopefully happen a little bit faster for you in life, and especially in finding success in real estate. The first one, just diving right in, is I thought that being comfortable with being uncomfortable was a critical quality as number one. I actually had it last, and it became first because having that certain level of patience and knowledge that sometimes things aren't exactly how you want them to be, or that they happen the way you planned. And that might actually bring you a lot of pain and discomfort while you're doing things. Now, this can happen in sports, this can happen in the classroom, this can happen in an office room, in the boardroom. But just finding that certain level of patience within yourself that, you're comfortable in a lot of different situations, whether that's preparedness, kind of like preparing yourself to think that, really anything could happen. And, how do you prepare for that? Because that's certainly going to bring a certain level of comfort to you. I just thought that was a great quality that I could totally talk about for a long time on. But just in one sentence, being comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that will definitely happen a lot, almost daily, in my opinion. Number two is bringing your health in order. Health and wellness, going to the gym, working out. Your health is number one. I know I had that originally as number one. But there are going to be some times where you're definitely going to be wanting to have some like healthy food, trying new things. You can't just always live on pizzas and sodas. I guess it's a little bit of a suggestion, I guess. But most people, they don't even drink enough water during the day. So like 2 to 3 liters of water if you can do it. I guess subtracting out like carbs, I guess, or at least a ton of like gluten kind of stuff, pizzas, pastas. You don't really need to eat so much. Substituting that with a little bbit more, vegetables, fruits, and meats, healthy, quality foods, that you don't really, it sounds so simple. But just choosing, kind of, or at least educating yourself, which is actually part number 3, just helping yourself, learn a little bit more about what you're putting into your body, because eventually it becomes you. You know what I mean? So, I thought that is like a really great, second, thing to be mindful of. And of course, I could also talk about that ad infinitum, for real, to no end, really, just to be clear on that. It's like, it's so important, even just for your sleep, going to the gym, it makes everything easier, and in general, it actually improves your mood, so I'll kind of leave it at that. But it's legit, and I see it in people all the time. If they're, their diet is poor, I may not even need to even ask them. I could like see it You can see it in your body if it's not, if your body is not the way it should be, or you feel like you're not having enough sleep, you're not working out enough, and some of your food intake is a little subpar. You're sneaking in those snacks in the middle of the night. It's not how we used to probably do it when we were hunters and gatherers back in the day. So I'll leave it at that. But keep that in mind, because this whole list is like very succinct. This is like, it took me years to realize that even health was important. Even though I knew eating healthy was important, I still didn't do it. So, but anyways, so let's move on to number 3. Obsession with knowledge and understanding new things. Just being open to new ideas in general. I've always been a reader, but it's important for you when starting out, really in any type of investment, to be open to, I guess, being in love with reading, being in love with, or if you're not even a reader, audiobooks and, taking classes, where you're listening and watching, a teacher, a lecturer, professor, kind of giving you some of their best insights. Not everyone is perfect, but not every education is ideal. But make a great decision. Read, the library is always a great place to start. It's free. And there's the internet, obviously, too. There's so much free information. But succinctly, being open to new knowledge and exploring that, and essentially becoming in love with reading. I think every single real estate investor or millionaire that I've rubbed elbows with, or even billionaires that I've rubbed elbows with, they're readers, so that's huge. Number 4, this is especially true, when you're young or really any age, but building skills in a variety of areas to make you more adaptable. I think, building skills just in anything. And I'm talking not just like, learning new ways of writing, or new art. Maybe that's probably true. But when it comes to investing, I'm saying like, speaking skills. We all need work on that. Reading and writing, I already kind of talked about that. Health, going to the gym, skills there too. Building skills in the trades, especially when you're young, learning how to clean tables, learning how to do dishes, mundane, unusual stuff, even, working, one of my first jobs was as either a plumber's apprentice, electrician's apprentice, painting, carpentry, learning how to use machines and applying your knowledge in a way to build something, because you don't know, even gardening, you don't know if things will be taken away from you. How do you replace, either your income or, your livelihood, and just switch gears really fast without even blinking, because you're just so confident that you have the skills, to make it work. So of course I can talk about that forever, but building skills in so many different areas just makes you more adaptable. And I think that's very important, especially in real estate for sure, and in general investing. So so number 5, last one is seek and understand different types of opportunities and then execute on them. Now this is, I made this last, but I probably could have put it anywhere, in the list, but, seeking and understanding different, opportunities. When I say that means, understanding that there's different ways to invest in real estate, and there's a lot of them, and I'll do my best to kind of guide you on all the ways that I've tried. Personally for me, we call it house hacking in our in real estate. That's where I found the most success. Where I was able to not only supplement my income at first, but then slowly replace it, over time, and then quit, be able to not use a 9-to-5 job. That's where I'm at. And that's what I want you to have, is to be in a point where you can replace your income and not really be tied down to like a 9 to 5 job. It's huge. But to do this the quickest way to maybe accelerate it, I would say choose one path. I'll show you a couple. I'll show you a lot actually, but I mean, I'm just saying, seeking and understanding a lot of different types of opportunities and then executing on just one. That can be hard for people. I've met people who like, oh, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do buy and hold multis, but I'm also trying to do XYZ. And yeah, you can, you can do a lot, and there's flipping, you can kind of do one before you do another, or the Burr method, and all this stuff. Just choose one. And I'll guide you through that. But I mean, it's so funny to hear, some of the young guys who are, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. And we're like, well, just choose on one thing, just set the bar at a certain level that makes sense right now, and this can go for, if you're starting out at age 62. 60 as well, or later or earlier, whatever. It just makes sense to execute on one idea. I was guilty of not doing that, and I think that would help you, in starting out for sure. Now, I have a bonus thing. I know there's like 5 things, but the biggest mistake that I thought, just overall, that set me back even like, I would say decades, that would really help you with investing in real estate, is thinking and chasing a better job. Thinking that a higher degree was something that I needed to make more money. And although that is true, and it depends on the industry that you're going for, you don't really need that or need to do that to get started, or to become a millionaire, or to replace your income, whatever you want to do. It definitely is something to consider, for those of you who are at any age, I would say, starting out. And really, I guess the solution to that is just having a job. And we call, one time I heard this, and it's just a money engine. That's it. And I can expand on that in many positive and negative ways. Having a job is great. Achieving success in school is also great. It depends on if you're like a doctor, engineer, lawyer. You need education. You need, certain licensures, but a lot of things in real estate, you don't need any of that stuff. You can start right away, right after high school, or when you're 18, and I would argue that it could be even earlier than that, but, and we can talk about that soon. But right away, just know that to escape the 9 to 5, to leave your job or to replace your income, you almost have to imagine that your income from a job is a tool to bring you to the next step. So one extra thing I wanted to add to that is how you will regret if you don't start taking charge of any of those 5 things in that order, and not discovering them on your own over the course of 10, 20, or 30 years, or your whole life. It really does have a cost. You will regret it. Taking this step to making better decisions, living a different life of, in my words, freedom. There are always life things that happen. It won't always seem like you are free to some extent, like you're trapped. It's mostly in our minds, but to take this step out of at least that, replacing salary with your own money, what you're building for yourself, that's powerful. And, like I just said, like making those decisions and not, I guess, having the confidence when communicating, talking to other people and saying like, well, I don't need to do that, or, oh, well, I'll consider what you said. You just approach conversations like way differently. and you approach people differently. There's a certain level of air, you know, a little stride to your step, you know, and you walk a little taller, you know, and sometimes it's like a belief factor too. Might be like a step one, you know, is believing in yourself, that confidence factor. But I promise you, once you start earning, let's say $10,000 extra per year, very small number for some people, but massive number. I mean, the average salary in the United States, I think around this time, you know, it's 2023, I think it's around between 40 and 50K. That's not a lot of money. The average business owner is somewhere between, I think it's like the same range, you know, high-end business owners. We're talking like just small, you know, mom and pop shop, and could be like $70,000 per year. You know, in 2023, both those are like they're average numbers, you know, to be in the top, let's say 5%. You know, I'm spitting right now too, but I mean, just to crack $100,000, you're doing pretty good, you know. But just to replace just your base income, let's say you're making 45K, and you just replace that with your own business, something that you're passionate about that makes you happy. In this case, real estate. It's pretty wonderful when you actually experience it. So, you know, take 20 years back by taking some of these words that I'm saying, and I hope I'm going to expand on all these points. I'm going to build off of them even more. That information, those 5 points, and understanding that your job is it's just a tool, you know. Of course, building relationships, all that stuff, it's very important, but I want you to know that this is, you know, these are some critical steps, and that's why I'm doing this, you know, to help you understand that, you know, you might be 21 years old and you might think you are the cock of the walk and you know your shit and you're like, I am going to be doing this, that, and the other thing. That's great, and I want you to be there. However, just know that there is a certain component of being uncomfortable, having that certain level of patience. I don't want you to experience 20 years of figuring it out. And not taking action on XYZ steps. I want to bring that to your doorstep. So if you stick with me, watch what I'm posting, like, subscribe, comment, you will start seeing that, you know, there's some development there. So I want you to embrace the uncomfortable and like see what it's all about. So check it out, and hope to talk to you soon. Thank you. Hi guys, are you ready to jump into real estate? If you found value in this video, then I want to help bring more of that to your doorstep and accelerate you to the next level. Check out my contact information in the description box below, and we can connect. Talk to you soon.